Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is Eddie Marcus, and I am here again. I'm talking politics with you and being cordial, respecting each of us individuals, our rights. But as a spokesman, and as I think about some things that are really, really fundamental that needs to be dealt with in our steps to correcting ourselves. And that is in our treatment of our babies. How we conduct ourselves when it comes down to babies. And that involves from the point of just accidental pregnancies. And I say accidental because there are a lot of times they weren't planned and you start hoping and wishing that it hadn't happened. And the problems that derive from it give you an indication that it's something that perhaps you wouldn't want to be going on. And from that perspective, there are others where everybody's just waiting on this beautiful child to come into the world and be the instrument of change for the future. And yet at the same time, we find ourselves in some situations where people just are too destitute to try to manage a child, to take care of a child, or lead a child, or guide a child. Many times they will give them up for adoption. Many times they will try to hang on to them, struggles, whatever they may be, survive it. Yes, it's strange the depths that people will go to. And then there are those who will just abort. Some of the greatest minds that could have ever walked the face of the earth didn't make it because of abortion. And yet abortion was the fruit of our failures to walk according to the basic principles of life. And that involves from the bottom to the top. And I think about how we treat our children even when our intentions are good. They come up being just like we are. Our prejudices, they pick them up. Our bigotry, they pick them up. Our bad mouths, our religion, they pick them up just like they pick up our language. They become a carbon copy of us to the degree that they want to do something different. Sometimes they want to be better than we are, the parents. And sometimes they want to be worse than we are, the parents. And all of that goes on. Ooh-wee. Because of our failures in the beginning. Our failures, in the beginning. And then on the other hand, when we have those failures in the beginnings, they usually follow us all the way through our lives. It doesn't matter whether we're doing good or whether we're doing bad, what side of the fence we're on, it doesn't matter. When it all comes together, it is this that we have. And we find ourselves old. Many of us, a lot of us hope we never get old, based simply because of the way old people are treated. They're treated just like kids who were thrown away. Even when you are blessed, you're still not blessed because the sicknesses, the diseases that you have the people had the liberty to be free as they were made to be free. Perhaps you would not have to suffer these pains and agonies. Who knows, if there weren't people who had aborted, we might just have arrived at the fountain of youth. All of these things are great possibilities that maybe, just maybe, could have happened. But right now, we got to make sure that we have to stop doing these things to our babies and live a life that would start at the cradle and follow us all the way to our grave. And our old people won't have to suffer these things because we cared. And we have to start now. Let's not worry about our not being cared for. To a degree, we were. We could have been cared for better if they had known and made up their minds to do better, as we are making up our minds to do better today. Well, that's one step. What is the other step? What is truly the other step? We're going to care about our old people. We're going to care about our young people. And whether we do that righteously or not will be reflected in how we are caring about those who are in between that young and that old. That will reflect what we're truly doing. I guess what I really want to say, ladies and gentlemen, and don't get mad with me, but let me say this to you. No one wants to endure pain and suffering, whether it has to do with an injury, whether it has to do with something physical, otherwise, or mentally. No one wants to suffer pain. No one. You don't. I don't. And our others don't as well. We don't want to have to suffer for a lack of things that we need, to survive. Stuff like food, and clothing, and shelter, education, and healthcare. We don't want to have to suffer because of a lack of these things. Especially when we know of a way whereby these things can be met. Each of us, whether we want to admit it or not about other people, each of us know that there's something that we want to do. Something that on this earth that we were just made to do. Each of us know that about ourselves. Now, all we have to do is accept the fact that other people feel the same way. They know they got something to do. And what they have to do in most instances involves the same kinds of things that's being done all the while. Career objectives. Something to do, a job, a career. Something that would allow them to participate, that would enable them to access those essentials of life. Food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, transportation, cars, vacations, all these kinds of things. And no underpayment that would make it possible for some people to be able to do these things and other people not. And see, this is where the difference comes in about the kinds of systems that we give our power to. There's one system that we can give our power to where everybody would be able to do any and all of these things. There's another way we give our power to, only some people will be able to do these things. And they can do it like, I don't know what. They're trying to prove a point or something. And they have the power of the people supporting it. But they also got poverty and pain and suffering as an indication that it's no good. So that's what I always want you to remember, ladies and gentlemen. The role of good people, the role of righteous people, let me just be more specific, righteous people, is to be able to identify the crooked things that's happening, expose them. And when I say crooked things, I'm thinking about those things that causes pain, those things that causes suffering with other people. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about crooked things. If it causes pain to yourself, if it causes pain to anyone else, then you must let it be known. And you, the people, have made a decision that this stuff will not be allowed. And so you take the necessary action, whatever that might be, and you've come up with an action that is designed to deal with this kind of stuff. And it goes away because it has no root here. So this is what I want you to focus on, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to cut this short. Thank you so very much for giving me this much of your time. But your babies, we got to take care of our babies. And we got to take care of our elderly. And remember, if you keep living, you're going to be an elder. And you're going to be grateful that you took care of business. Thank you.